Okay, we are going to look at one more presentation at this time, and that, of course, has to do with data centers. Very important piece of device, if we might add. Why is it necessary for us to have our own data center? What is a data center? What does it really do? People talk about, cloud-based data center. Is that the data center in the cloud? What is this thing? What do we mean? What does it mean? And so therefore, we will have a person who is a native of Atlanta, Georgia, retired business process analyst. She has her Bachelor of Science in Computer Information System, began network marketing in the early 2000s with different and varied MLM companies. Venture, of course, into online marketing, and of course, a founder, CEO of onpassive in 2021. Former chef, former truck driver, also police officer, and U.S. Navy. So don't play with her, don't ramp with her. She's very, hand-to-hand combat and all of that. And so therefore, at this time, I present you with Juanda Woodward, better and affectionately known as JWoo.
Okay. You gave me all those accolades and I forgot to push the button.
My apologies.
Oh, there's nothing to apologize about. This is the right community at the right time. It only takes a few seconds to push the button. Isn't that so? Anyway, I'm so happy to be here among all of you founders, actually amongst all of you leaders. And my goal this evening is to share information with you that you might find valuable as we navigate or travel the months ahead of us as onpassivians. This evening, I'll be presenting a different viewpoint on data centers, but I will do my best to answer the questions, why are data centers booming? And why do we, onpassivians, have data centers? Before I get started though, I'd like to acknowledge some of my supporters. We all know that no man is an island. And as many of you who've been attending regularly the deep dive, it takes a lot of people to put the program on and be successful. So I'd like to acknowledge just a few people, I won't go through my whole list, that were really instrumental in helping me with the research for tonight's program. One of our fellow founders, Angela Griffin, I want to give a shout out to her. I also want to give a shout out to her age mate, but my fleshly sister, who's also a founder, and that's Gwen Smith. So thank you both for the love and the support. And for all of you whose name I didn't mention, I love you. So tonight we're going to be looking at why are data centers booming? It's an interesting slide on the fact that for the last several months, we've spent a lot of time as onpassivians talking about data centers. It's been very informative, but how do we really read between the lines as far as the information that we've been receiving so that we can really have a warm and fuzzy feeling about data centers, especially as we move forward to introducing our products to the public? That's the question. So I prepared a few slides for us to go over. And the first slide that you're viewing now introduces a company called, I believe, Servolex. It's sort of towards the bottom there. And Globe is a telecommunications company. They're in the Philippines, and they have joined hands with this company, Servolex, who has a product that they're using to provide high-speed broadband service to urban and suburban and rural areas. Does that sound familiar? That towards the end of January, our beloved CEO, Ashley Farr, said that there were 4 areas, marketing areas, where he wanted to have a presence. The first was energy. The second was the internet. The third was communications. And the fourth was blockchain or cryptology. In the slides that we'll examine coming up, we will come to see something that we already know as onpassivians, that leaders are, first of all, readers. Second of all, they're researchers. And lastly, they're always ready for the next challenge. Data centers. Amazon Web Services launches data centers in Indonesia. This was dated January 3rd, 2022. This is around the same time period that Angela and myself started looking at what are data centers. This is the period just before Ash announced that onpassive would have their first data center in a matter of months. But look what's going on in the world at that same time. In Seattle, Amazon Web Services announces that they are launching a data center in the region of Indonesia. Why? To be able to provide cloud services in an area where the internet population of users is growing. Oracle, a longtime leader in technology and databases, January 31st, 2022, Oracle announced that they would be expanding their global presence where? Johannesburg, South Africa. And the reason? To meet the rapidly growing demand for enterprise cloud services on the continent. And they also want to boost cloud adoption across Africa and help companies achieve better performance and drive continuous growth in the area. Amazon Web Service again, where this time? New Zealand, dated the end of last year, October 25th, 2021. Oracle, January 3rd, 2022. Milan, Italy. They want to give their customers and partners in that area increased support in the cloud computing service. Oracle is so large. They have 36 cloud regions worldwide, with plans to have at least 44 cloud regions by the end of this year. So leaders, when we think about the recent announcement we had about getting everything up and running in the different regions that onpassive is starting with, we are not alone. We're running with the big dogs, AWS and Oracle. Now, this particular slide talks about data centers from a different aspect, and it has to do with artificial intelligence and machine learning. November 22nd, 2021, Stamford, Connecticut. A new report says robots with artificial intelligence are coming to help run cloud data centers. Then it goes on to report that some of the data centers, they are predicting at least half of the ones that were current at that time will deploy advanced robots with AI and machine learning capabilities, resulting in a 30% higher operating efficiency. The move will be caused by, listen to the reason, shortages in the data center market, shortages of human resources in the data center market. Makes you think about the webinar we had about our first data center and some of the wonderful features that it would have by using AI and ML. So considering what the playing field looks like today, and we've covered different parts of our globe, the question remains why we have data centers, we being onpassive and the onpassivians today. Why do we have data centers? Now, please keep in mind that Ash said there were 4 areas in the marketplace that he wanted to have a presence: energy, internet, communications, and blockchain or cryptology. Now, we've just reviewed that the major players in the field are expanding globally. So as we examine this next section, and we'll also be watching a short video, keep in mind that we want to connect the dots. We want to read between the lines so that we can answer the question of why we onpassive have data centers. The reasons. First, we have a large arsenal of products, both physical products and digital products. Where do they live? They're going to live on our ecosystem. Where does the ecosystem exist? In the data center. If not our own, would it be Oracle, AWS? Well, looking at the second point, we know that would cause a security issue because we are what? Disruptive. And we don't want to have anybody in our way from staying that way, disruptive. Then we have to look at environmental control. We control the environment. We control the progress. We control how secure we're going to be in our environment. We also learned that another reason for our data center is that it saves us operational costs. It was in the thousands, double-digit thousands, that onpassive was paying monthly to be hosted on AWS. We also will have increased learning potential with our own data centers. Why can we say so? Yes, we save money by hosting our own products and services, but also, can you think of 2 products minimally that will boost our earnings? O-Domain is one, O-Host is the second. Then what about our tech center, center in Hyderabad, and now we're expanding 4 new locations coming online in the next year. Where is it that we will create our new technology? Where will we test it? How will we go about rolling out the implementation? Why do we need data centers? The number one reason for data centers, the answer is in the name, data. This evening we talked about it, protecting our personal data. Now, please, if you don't mind, give me just a few minutes of your attention. And what I would like you to view now, on the cusp of the dates that we mentioned earlier with data centers, the end of 2021, the beginning of 2022, my question to you, what are the chances that the things that we'll see in this video, that these very areas that our CEO has been talking about in our products and in the need to have a data center would be addressed in the 2022-2023 budget for India? And please, we're not picking on India alone, but this gives such a timely example of what's going in the world and why not only is onpassive products and service going to be disruptive, but that they're on time. Please, your attention. Thank you very much for attending that. So the reason for data centers, let me just stop my screen share. So the reason onpassive has data centers, I just looked at the last 4 of the 10 budget items in India. One of the earlier ones, I think was number 2, had to do with them creating their own cryptology for their financial system. Just as a reference, that video can be seen on YouTube. The YouTube channel is Wion, W-I-O-N, and the date of the video was February 1st, 2022. February 1st, 2022. But let's talk about this 4 points briefly. The first one had to do with passports. Passports, you know, the information they want, all very vital statistics. It needs to be housed where? On very secure data centers. Mobile networks, 5G technology. They were talking about a contract for what? Also for the manufacturing, as well as being able to provide internet services to their remote areas. Sounds like onpassive to me. Item number 9, digital education, a digital universe, e-video 20 channels, all the different languages. Does that not sound like the features in Academy? Number 10, mental health, mental health program. Has Connect written all over it. Now, it may just be coincidental that this video was broadcast on February 1st. Ash's announcement about the data center was right within that time period. Why do we need data centers? Where are we going to house all the information that our products will be collecting and utilizing to fuel the economies that are out there today? It should help all of us to see that there's more to data centers when we look at the business side, as well as when we look at the benefits of having one. My researcher, Angela Griffin, mentioned to me today that a publication, and I'll share that with you in a minute, that she used to help level the playing field of her understanding of data centers, talked about a well-known company, Coca-Cola. We all know Coca-Cola, right? Been around a long time, right? They were developed in my home city, Atlanta, Georgia. They were asked a long time ago about doing their own data center. They declined. Guess why? You know that anxiety we feel because it's a little bit longer, because it ain't quite ready yet. They saw how big that elephant was and they didn't want to touch it. So imagine all the countries that have Coca-Cola, including the smaller manufacturing plants, they're being hosted on Oracle, AWS. Yeah, they got plenty of money. They can afford to take the risks. They've been out there a long time, but we're a baby unicorn. And we have eyesight that's laser sharp, and we have a leader, you know, that has that sees things from an altitude that we can't imagine. So definitely, hopefully, I'm sure we all understand why onpassive needs data centers. And hopefully you'll take that information and it will help you sleep a little bit better in a different way, all right? When all the things that our CEO can't tell us, can we now imagine? Can we now imagine? And that's just one country. What about Indonesia? That was mentioned in the slide. What about the Philippines? That was mentioned in the slide. There was another country, the one AWS, no, the company that I first mentioned that has the internet providing thing. They're providing services here in the US, California, to the rural areas of California. And their technology for providing internet access is patented, right? Because he can provide it low cost. There's one in, let me see what my note says. That company, their name is Cuvalux, C-U-R-V-A-L-U-X, Cuvalux, sorry. They have new contracts. The Philippines contract was 2021. California contract was 2022. Brazil, May of 2022. Nigeria, February of 2022, providing internet access to rural and non-reachable areas. If they get internet, that means they can get onpassive. All right. So please take another look at data centers from the aspect of how it is making us dig deep trenches into the economic market for the billions of people that will be coming online in the next few years. Now, if you would like to have one more slide to share with you, if you would like to know more about data centers and the terminology that we talk here often now, because we have a data center business, we're CEOs. This publication, Explain the Cloud Like I'm 10, that's like 10 years old. I'm sure you'll all enjoy this publication. You can find it on Amazon, etc. But if you put the title in Google, just search it. You can probably get the book for less than $15, and also it's available digitally. But it will help to level the playing field as founders so that you can really understand that all this time we have been floating around in the cloud when we bank, when we travel, when we book a ticket. So now that it's our business, hopefully we can all see where the power of the data center lies and how that gives us more power. And hopefully we'll become more comfortable talking about our business in line with owning a data center. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, CEO Data Center Owner, Juanda Woodward, affectionately known as JWoo. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.